Everyone here believes that the forest is cursed. It's as if she vanished into thin air.
Don't worry, Zoe. We are almost there. Just take a deep breath, okay?
In this village, belief and fear walk hand in hand.
But imagine, when fear crosses its limits and takes the form of death.
Hey, you seem unusually cheerful today. What's the big news?
Grandpa, you won't believe it! I narrated the story of Elder Grove at school today, and everyone was spellbound.
I heard about it. The principal gave me a call. But you must understand, you can't just share the tale of Elder Grove lightly. It's not just any story. It holds much more weight than that.
Yes, Grandpa. I know. Everyone was amazed. They'd never heard of Elder Grove before, except for one friend whose grandparents had mentioned it. I'm desperate to hear what happens next. Please, tell me.
Of course. Two days had passed, but Zoe was still trapped in the grip of shock, sadness, and an unshakable fear. Her mind refused to make sense of what had happened that night. It all came too fast.
Mom, are we stuck here?
Elder Grove, Emma. It changes things. It twists them until nothing is what it seems.
Zoe.
A voice snapped her back to reality, pulling her from the swirling fog of her thoughts. It was Ethan, her uncle. She collapsed into his arms, sobbing. Ethan Blackwood wasn't just family. He was a force of nature, a legend in law enforcement, known for his relentless pursuit of truth. His name carried weight in precincts and back alleys alike. A man who never let a case go cold. But this wasn't just another case. This was personal. His sister, Emma, was missing, and he was here to bring her back. After a moment of comfort, his voice low and steady, Ethan gently let Zoe go. His eyes, sharp as ever but shadowed with something deeper, locked onto the cabin ahead, Maximus's cabin. Inside Maximus's face was a map of worry, his brows knitted as he pored over his notes. Ethan's voice broke the silence.
Any news about my sister?
We've searched every corner of that cursed forest. There's nothing. No footprints, no torn fabric, nothing. It's as if she vanished into thin air. The villagers refused to speak, their fear palpable. The mere mention of the forest's name brought a shadow to their faces. And then there was Zoe's story, a fragmented recollection of that fateful night.
What did she say?
She said something took her mother. A figure.
What's your point?
In this village, belief and fear walk hand in hand. Everyone here believes that the forest is cursed.
Ethan decided and took the team for reinvestigation. But still he didn't get any clue. That night, as darkness swallowed the last rays of sunlight, Ethan decided to take a pause for investigation and ordered his team to leave this place. Ethan decided to take Zoe home. She needed to be safe, but the journey back was laden with questions.
Uncle, do you think the forest really is cursed?
I don't know, sweetheart.
Do you think there are animals? Like bears or wolves?
It's a forest, sweetheart, and every forest has its creatures.
Mom used to tell me stories about forests. She loved them. But Uncle, when will we see her again?
Soon, I promise. Zoe, did your mom ever say anything strange about this forest? Or meet anyone here?
Zoe's eyes grew distant, her small fingers playing with a thread on her sleeve.
Not really. But that night, when our car broke down, I saw someone.
Someone? Who?
A man. He was standing in the trees, just staring at us, with a lantern in his hand.
A chill ran down Ethan's spine. He said nothing but held Zoe's hand a little tighter as they walked through the dense jungle. As time passed, the forest seemed to close in on them, its silence broken only by the occasional rustling of unseen creatures. Aware of Zoe's growing fear, Ethan quickened his pace.
Don't worry, Zoe. We are almost there. Just take a deep breath, okay?
Zoe couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that someone or something was following them. Every crackling twig and rustling leaf made her heart race, but instead of voicing her fears, she squeezed Ethan's hand tighter, burying her face into his chest. And then they reached the ethereal grove.
Grandpa, wait! Is that the same house where Zoe's mom, Emma, told her to go to stay safe?
Yes, that's the one, the ethereal grove. It was an old, abandoned cottage the police department assigned to Ethan while he worked in Elder Grove. A simple shelter, or so they thought. Neither Ethan nor the police ever realized the true significance of that cottage.
Every night brings either peaceful sleep to some, or a deep sense of fear to others. But that night, I felt something different. Someone else's pain. A pain so intense, it was almost unbearable. I didn't know whether it was some kind of sign, or just a hallucination, born from my fear. Zoe was asleep on my lap, and I was trying to piece together everything she had said. Each broken sentence seemed to pull me closer to a truth, one that perhaps no one had dared to confront before. Now, I knew where my search had to begin.
The forest loomed outside, dark and impenetrable. Somewhere in its depths, the truth awaited, silent, haunting, and ready to be unearthed. The next day, Ethan and his team set off for Elder Grove Village, the heart of their new investigation. Surrounded by ancient trees with gnarled branches clawing at the sky, the village seemed to exist in a shadow all its own. Despite their best efforts, the team was met with silence. The villagers refused to talk about the forest, their fear evident in the way they avoided eye contact and quickly shuffled away. As Ethan surveyed the tense air of the village, a chilling realization struck him. He wasn't just searching for his sister. He was hunting something darker, something ancient and terrifying, hidden deep within this cursed forest. Maximus, his voice breaking the uneasy silence, offered a new lead.
Sir, there's only one place left, the bar. It's where the hunters and local troublemakers gather. But there's a problem. Sir, the locals despise the police. If we go in there, it might cause more trouble than it's worth.
Who said we're going alone?
The bar reeked of sweat, stale alcohol, and secrets best left unspoken. Ethan and his team entered with purpose, their presence instantly drawing wary gazes. They began questioning the patrons, but most feigned ignorance or responded with cryptic mutterings. And then Ethan met him, a gaunt man with sharp eyes that seemed to pierce through the smoke-filled air.
My name's Oliver. I'm the one you've been looking for all day. But listen carefully, because this is more important. If you don't leave Eldergrove with your niece Zoe, she's as good as dead.
The words hit Ethan like a blow, but his skepticism was stronger than his fear.
Why should I believe you?
I expected that. Come, I'll show you something that might change your mind.
Oliver led Ethan to a small, dimly lit cabin on the outskirts of the village. Inside, stacks of papers, maps, and journals were spread across a table.
This is 3 years of my work, every detail about Eldergrove and its story about Cursed Forest.
Ethan scanned the documents, his skepticism fading with every piece of evidence. Tales of mysterious disappearances, strange symbols carved into trees, and sightings of a shadowy figure began to form a chilling narrative.
Grandpa, isn't it strange that Oliver isn't a detective or a police officer, yet he knows more about Eldergrove than the entire police department?
You're sharp, just like Ethan. He had the same question, and he couldn't ignore it. Eventually, Ethan confronted Oliver, demanding to know how he gathered such detailed knowledge about the Cursed Forest. After a heavy pause, Oliver finally shared the truth. 3 years ago, he began, his voice trembling with emotion, my daughter, she was just 8. She vanished into that forest. He explained how the entire village gave up hope after countless failed searches, but not Oliver. He couldn't accept her disappearance. Determined to find her, he launched his own investigation. For 2 relentless years, he scoured every dark corner of the forest, documenting every strange occurrence, every whispered legend, every clue, however small. His obsession consumed him, but he never gave up hope. Ethan saw the desperation and sincerity in Oliver's eyes. A father still searching for his lost daughter. From that moment, Ethan trusted him. He believed that Oliver's quest for answers might just lead him to his missing sister, Emma. But when Ethan asked about his sister, Oliver shook his head.
I don't know where she is, but I do know this. No one in this village can help you. No one except...
Except who?
The Ashen Saint. But you don't find him. He finds you. They say he knows everything that happens in this forest, as if he is part of the jungle itself. He's neither alive nor dead. More like a memory the forest refuses to let go of.
Is there any way to get a message to him?
There might be. We can try for it. But I can't promise it'll work.
Following Oliver's suggestion, Ethan wrote a letter addressed to the mysterious Ashen Saint. He left it at the exact spot where Emma had vanished. The act felt both desperate and surreal, but Ethan had no other choice. The next day, Oliver returned with a file, his most critical piece of research. He laid it out in front of Ethan.
Here's something for you. Take a look. Every person who's disappeared in this forest was found the next day, but dead. Their bodies had no wounds, no signs of struggle. Cause of death? Overwhelming fear. Their hearts literally stopped.
Ethan's breath caught, his pulse hammering against his ribs. The words felt like ice creeping into his veins, tightening around his chest like an unseen grip. He swallowed hard, his mind racing through the grim possibilities. Every victim dead without a mark, their hearts failing from sheer terror. The thought twisted in his gut. What had they seen in their final moments? His fingers curled into fists.
But Emma's body hasn't been found.
Exactly, which means she might still be alive.
Just as the realization sunk in, a gust of wind swept through the room, rattling the windows. Out of nowhere, an arrow embedded itself in the wall beside them, a piece of paper tied to its shaft. Ethan's heart raced as he untied the note. His eyes widened when he saw the familiar handwriting. It was the letter he had left for the Ashen Saint. But now, something new was scrawled across the back.
They say fear weakens a person. But imagine, when fear crosses its limits and takes the form of death, writing the final chapter of life itself. You can't even begin to imagine how deep that fear would go. For the past 2 days, I've been wandering this forest, and now everything around me feels strange, alive. Perhaps it's time to face that fear.
The air inside was eerily still.
This tells the story of the forest. I think I've read about this somewhere before, something about a cave.
Hey viewers, if you're still here, thank you for walking with me through Elder Grove. But if you've just joined me now, you need to see how it all began. Go back to part 1, the night everything changed, then meet me right here where the forest still hasn't gone quiet. Until then, stay curious.